I'm not going to lie. Outside of the Ben Johnson hiring,
the best show for Chicago sports.
Outside of Dennis Allen, this is a heck of a job right here. Are we back? Are we back? We might be back. We got to see what it plays out as on paper. But ladies and gentlemen, we might be back. That's how you have a day, boys. That's how you have a day as the Chicago Bears hire Eric Bieniemy as their running backs coach. Now, everybody in here might be like, Pat, there's no way you're this excited about a running backs coach. I'll tell you why I have this much excitement right now. I think this is a great hire. We'll talk about all that more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. It's a good day. It's a good day. It's a good day. It is a good day. Appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy, man. Stop playing with your boy. Go ahead and
come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push your button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man. All right, let's get into the news. This is from Adam Schefter. He's the one that I saw it from first, I should say. I don't know if somebody else had it first, but Bears are hiring former UCLA assistant head coach and OC Eric Bieniemy as their running backs coach, as Jay Jones reported. Okay, so apparently Jonathan Jones of NFL on CBS had this first. Bieniemy now returns to the NFL. I like this hire for a couple of reasons. Number one, because it has us over 100 in a check, over 200 in a check. Over 300 in that check. 300. No, number one, I like this hire for the reason of you look at your running game last season, absolutely abysmal. There was nothing that was that stood out about it. DeAndre Swift was not impactful, no matter what people want you to believe. There was minimal execution out of Roschon Johnson in the times where he was on the field, and his utilization was completely down. On the flip side of that, he also dealt with some concussion issues. You've got a guy like Ian Wheeler who was dealing with injury last season as well. You have all of these things compounding together. And then, of course, terrible offensive line play that does play a part into it as well. Just poor play calling. I mean, Shane Waldron calling some horrible plays. Yeah, I think you saw the running game improve a little bit more, not much more, but a little bit more when Thomas Brown took over. I love it in the beginning, just from that standpoint of improving your running game. But this to me speaks to a bigger conversation. Now, Bieniemy coming back as the running backs coach is exciting for the Chicago Bears, of course, because we saw him as an OC in Kansas City win a championship, be an elite play caller. We saw him as an OC in Washington not have that same level of success, and it kind of took him out of that head coaching conversation. But to me, the big thing right now about bringing Bieniemy in is Eric Bieniemy was somebody who was calling plays on that staff with Andy Reid. So that means that he knows how to draw up plays. That means he knows how to implement a playbook. That means that he knows how to utilize pieces in the right way for the long term. And I think that that's something that the Bears will absolutely be able to benefit from moving forward. Here's the big thing about this. You start to look around this coaching staff, the Chicago Bears offensive coaching staff. To me, this is you're looking at all of these names who can go out there and can draw up their own plays and can implement plays. I've said this a couple of times through the offseason. This feels like a Mike Holmgren style built staff. This feels like you went out and you're trying to hire the staff that is going to be able to not only just Ben Johnson calling the plays, but hey, I drew this up last week. This was something I wanted to see put into the playbook. Do you think this will work? And now you're able to put that in. You talk about that with Antoine Randall. You talk about that with Eric Bieniemy. We've talked about that with the possibility of Declan Doyle. You talk about bringing in Press Taylor as your offensive pass game coordinator, I should say. Those are things to me that really stand out for the Chicago Bears, because you've got all of these guys. Press Taylor, you may not think much of him as an OC, but he is the person who designed the Philly special. He is a person who came up with multiple plays in that Philadelphia playbook that made Nick Foles' life easier. Also was a quarterback's coach over there. Like, those are things to me that if you want to talk about a coach, a coaching staff being elite. I think it's what you can talk about with Andy Reid's coaching staff coming off of that Reid tree. I think it's what you can talk about with the guys like Mike Holmgren. I think it's where you get your John Grudens. I think it's where you get these big offensive names, and you look at what Sean McVay did with Kevin O'Connell and his time there, and then Kevin O'Connell being able to go out and be a head coach as well. I think, first off, outside of everything else, I love this for Eric Bieniemy. This gets your name back into the cycle. You're going to have to work your way back up the board. It's not all going to happen at once, but this gets your name back into the talks of, well, what can Eric Bieniemy be as a head coach in the NFL? This is getting you back into the league. I think this is going to be huge for him. I love this hire for the Chicago Bears in totality, and I think this is a great move for the Bears overall. Hit that like button if you agree. Subscribe to the page. Seems like a lot of people agree in the chat. And listen, it's shout out to Crimson. This is such a stark contrast. Last year, the staff had no effing experience. Now they have all of it. That plays into this as well. You have a head coach who has minimal experience. He's got experience as a play caller, and that's it. You've got former head coach on your staff. You've got multiple assistant head coaches on your staff now. You've made somebody an assistant head coach on your staff. To me, I think that those are the things that you have to be excited about, right? You've not only got this balance of youth on the offensive side, but also some of that experience when you talk about bringing in a guy like Eric Bieniemy. This, to me, is just this is the Bears making the right moves again, spending the money to go out and get the big name pieces. I love this hire for the Chicago Bears, and I think that this is a good situation for the Bears to be in. DG Daniel said Bieniemy wore out his welcome in Washington. Yeah, that was one of the concerns with Eric Bieniemy, and I do wonder if that's going to be the case here, where but he had more power there. I think that'll be different. But remember, in Washington, the people basically said he didn't understand, kind of how to have that relationship with the players, and kind of was a little bit off-putting to a lot of the players. I remember rightly they ended up going to Ron Rivera about him. The one thing that I'll say about it here is he's focused on the running backs. The one thing we know Eric Bieniemy can do, run. And he can develop running backs, and he can put in a heck of a run scheme. But I just think, again, you're talking about having multiple names on a staff that can help this head coach along, help Ben Johnson I don't want to say like ease into the job, because there is no easing into a head coaching job, but help Ben Johnson be able to have as much of the load off of his plate as he can outside of being the play caller on Sundays, and outside of being the head coach of the team. But a lot of the other stuff, right? If I got Eric Bieniemy working with my running backs, I'm not worried about what's going on in that running back room. I know he knows how to develop running backs. If I've got right, if I've got Press Taylor in the quarterback room, I'm not worried, or as the pass game coordinator, I'm not worried about what's going on in the passing game, right? Because I know that he can scheme that up. I've seen him do that on the way to a Super Bowl. You've got these names on the team. Antoine Randall working with the wide receivers, Al Harris working with the DBs. Again, we're talking about skins on the wall. I think that that's something so incredibly important for the Chicago Bears, and I love the fact that we're seeing this staff really come together. This is just another good name for me. Daniel Orski said, is there too many cooks in the kitchen? No, I think there's going to be one voice, right? There's going to be one voice at the end of all of this. It's going to be the main guy who is the top guy, and that's going to be Ben Johnson. But you do want to have different voices calling or drawing up plays and coming up with different ideas that are going to work best with your quarterback. Here's the exciting part for me. Caleb Williams gets to work with all of these guys who have been a part of this. Caleb Williams and this young offense get an opportunity to have, the running back room gets an opportunity to have Eric Bieniemy there. Caleb Williams gets an opportunity not only to be with Ben Johnson, but also to work with all of these guys who are here, who have developed top-tier wide receivers, top-tier quarterbacks in this NFL, won Super Bowls with the organizations that they've been with, right? Like that to me, this offseason, while we're saying this is an investment in the team, and it is, this is such an investment in the quarterback. Tell me that you don't believe that the Bears are all in on Caleb Williams. This is such an investment in the quarterback. I think that this is a great move for the Bears overall. And to me, just continue to see these kind of hires. If we see this on the offensive line room, I mean, listen, we're going to be talking about a top tier staff, and that makes a difference. That makes such a difference. Look at these teams. And I know we always focus in on the young guys, right? We focus in on the Shanahans, focus in on the O'Connells, we focus in on McVay, we focus in on LaFleur, we focus in on all these young names. Who's in the Super Bowl? Who are two of the top nine? Now, you do have a young name, Nick Sirianni, in the Super Bowl as well, right? Andy Reid, an older name who's done it this way in the Super Bowl. You look on the flip side of it, Vic Fangio, an older name in the Super Bowl. Spags on the defensive side for the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Experience means something. And I think you have a great mix right now with this coaching staff. Now, you got to get the job done. I'm not sitting here telling you to crown them and say that the Bears are going to be a Super Bowl contender next season at all. I don't even know if I'm picking them to be a playoff team next season. I'm not there yet. But where I am at is today for this team, this is a good hire, and this is something that I think is a vast difference from having Chris Morgan, who's the offensive line coach, also be the run game coordinator and be working with putting together this run game. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. I think Eric Bieniemy is going to have a lot of power in that season or in that room, especially as far as how the run game is going to be dictated and how those running backs are going to be used. And I think that these are good names to have on your staff. This is a star-studded staff, and that usually, very rarely do you see these kind of staffs fail. Like I have to go back and look, and maybe somebody knows in the chat. Has there been a staff put together with this many big names that just completely crumbled? I'm trying to remember McDaniel's staff. Maybe McDaniel. I don't remember everybody who was on Josh McDaniel's staff. But there was some bad names on that staff. But this feels so incredibly not Bears. This feels so incredible. This feels Chiefs. This feels Chiefs. And this is the kind of change that you needed for the McCaskies. Think about the Chiefs. The Chiefs were a joke of an organization. The Hines family was continually laughed at with what they did in the NFL. They didn't sell the team. They changed the way that they did things. They went out and they hired Andy Reid. That was different from what they had done before. They went out and they took a chance on a young quarterback and trusted that Andy Reid knew what he was doing. They trusted their football people that were in the building. Sometimes that's the change that needs to happen. So everybody wanted to be sell the team. And I'm not, my thing wasn't, I wouldn't have been opposed to the McCaskey selling the team, but it's unrealistic. It's an unrealistic thing to request. I'm good. None of us in this chat. My bad. I said the Hines family. I'm tweaking, my guy. Hunt family. Shout out to Travis. He said wrong ketchup family. My bad, dog. Did I say the Hines family? I'm tweaking out here, dog. That's hilarious, actually. That's freaking funny. That is. I said the Hines family. Relax, Pat. Wrong ketchup family is a great line. 1,000 points to Travis. 1,000 points to Travis. That was great. What was the point I was? Oh, none of us in here would ever sell our $1 billion organization. Heck, most of us in here wouldn't move on from our $1,000 organizations, right? I'm making thousands every month. Why would I sell this? Sometimes it takes a change in mindset, though. And that feels like what Kevin Warren was able to do here. He got the Chicago Bears to change their personality. He got the McCaskies to change how they've done business. We have never seen them do business like this. Now finish off the Infinity Stones and get the O-line coach. DJ Sheik said, I agree. Harris, Randall L. Bieniemy, and Allen DC. WTF, someone pinched me. Bro, yeah. LBC said the last year's Commanders with Shanahan Pops had him McVay and McDaniels and Joe Bugle. Didn't that team make the playoffs though? Am I mistaken on that? Ain't that the last year of Kirk? The last Shanahan, ain't that the last year of Kirk, but they just got like immediately beat in the playoffs? To me, this is different than what we've ever seen, and I'm excited for, okay, now what kind of talent are you going to give them? Now what kind of talent are you going to give them? Now what are we doing in the draft? Now I'm looking, now again, O-line coach is going to be vastly important. The O-line coach is going to be the next big name that you need to get right. Vastly important. But you also have to get the talent for these guys to be able to actually coach up. Don't start at the bottom. Don't stop spending now. As Hawk Harrelson says, don't stop now, boys. Don't get cheap when it comes to the players now because you feel like you have the staff that's just going to get the most out of anybody. No, let's go big or go home. You got great players on the outside right now. Fix this interior. Go get the right O-line coach, then sign Trey Smith. The second free agency opens, if I hear a running back or a safety's name called for the Chicago Bears, this table's getting flipped. The only thing that I want to hear is Chicago Bears have signed Trey Smith, 4 years, $85 million with $65 million guaranteed. That's the only thing I want to hear next. By the way, while we're sitting here and enjoying this time together, over 1,000 in the chat. 1,000. 555 over on the YouTube side, man. 520 over on Twitter. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, man. Subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Dr. Truth said, credit to Warren for having the organization commit to excellence. Kevin Warren deserves a lot of love. Yeah. And you want to know what? I agree. Kevin Warren deserves all the love in the world. I wonder if now we'll get to see Ryan Poles really put in some work. Now, draft-wise, right? Draft-wise may be different. But how many off seasons have we seen go by where we're looking at polls going, hey, last year, we're like, all right, bro, you going to sign an offensive lineman? Oh, you're not going offensive line? Well, maybe you're going defensive line. All these defensive ends out here, I can get it. Go O-line in the draft, baby. I get it. There's defensive ends everywhere. You going to sign what? You're not going to sign? No? You're not going to sign nobody? But we opened up extra money. So you're not getting the opposite defensive end for Montez? Oh, so then you're going to fix the offensive line. No, we're going cheap there too. Maybe this is a organizational change and shifted mindset all the way around. And now Ryan Poles is going to get to go out there and be like, how much I got to spend? Bet, sign him. We'll see what ends up happening there. We got breaking news from Baki as well. Tight end coach Jim Dre has been confirmed to be staying on the staff. I think I saw that from Brad Biggs as well. Shout out to Baki for reminding me about that. I think I did see that from Brad Biggs. Ben Johnson, this is from Biggsy. Ben Johnson is retaining one position coach from Matt Eberflus staff. Jim Dre will return with the Bears as the tight ends coach, sources say. That makes sense. I mean, it's not what'd you say, Gabriel? Gabriel said Bears are back. I'm hyping them the fuck up. Hey, he said, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, baby. I'm all in. I don't think our tight ends were terrible. I think we didn't use them. Now, I will say this. As far as when we used them, the fact that we used Cole Kmet blocking so often, like maybe there's a knock there. Like Cole can't block to save his life. But if you know that about Cole, maybe don't throw Cole out there to block. He can't catch the football. Everybody, oh my God, here we go. Everybody and their mama. We're drafting Genty. Dog, I'm not doing this with y'all. Hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. As always, man, it's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. We will come back to you guys live if any more breaking news does drop. We're over 1,100 in the chat. Appreciate y'all, man. Also going to drop some content over on ESPN as well, so make sure that you tap in with us over there. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bear Don, one love, and big peace. Enjoy your weekends.